Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Ready to Love DMV episode 2 entitled Blind Dates. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's another sunny day in Potomac as everyone slowly gathers for some good eats. Ace is ready to learn more about the fellas, and she's very nervous but excited. Tiffani has a concern as she was at the bottom too last week. She spent all of her time only with one guy and needs to be open. She still has her eyes on Wiley though. She sits down with him in hopes to spark some conversation, but Dakia joins them. Tiffani is obviously annoyed. Dakia notices that Wiley has a familiar face. She's curious. Are you Chuck Brown's son? Turns out he is. DC's royalty. Wiley is put on the spot but explains that he doesn't lead with that info when trying to get to know someone. I don't say, hey, my dad is Chuck Brown, creator of go-go music. Tommy pops up and Sabrina feels the panic of what's next. Uh-oh, here we go. Everyone made it through the first week of eliminations, so give yourselves a round of applause. But don't get too comfortable. Tommy is starting early with the curveballs. It's 6 men and 6 women now, but they're gonna test the new qualities of their current connections. Now it's time to stir in a little quantity. 1 new man and 1 new woman will join in the party, but they're not showing up just now. They will make an old school entrance. 2 of you will go on a blind date. Tommy jokes that Sabrina always has a look of complete surprise from day one. Now Tommy thinks about who will go on the blind dates. He selects Ace, and she thinks that she can handle the new addition to the bunch. Laverne is then selected for the new woman blind date. Tommy says he selected him because Laverne can surely talk. He admits to interrogating people. Tommy's only note is, hey, Laverne, when you ask someone a question, wait and then let them respond before piling it on. Eventually, everyone else will meet the new singles, and later that week, the fellas will join him in the gentleman's lounge. In that meeting, the fellas will let them know how each date went and which female will be up for elimination. Sabrina wants Ace to get all the details and spill all the tea to the ladies. Cliff jokes a little about how he's jealous that a newbie gets to date Ace, but not him. Laverne assures that Ace is cool and chill, and they'll both get all of the information needed to report back to everyone else. There's more mixing and mingling, and Dakia lets Demetrius know that he gives off BDE vibes, big blank energy. His only response after the blushing is that he's sure of himself. Tiffani wants to know if Dakia recognizing who his dad was made him feel uncomfortable, but he's okay with it because he gets the question a lot. He's really digging Tiffani but wants to make sure that he makes his rounds. Dakia approaches him for putting him on the spot, but his face was just so familiar and she had to ask. She says to production that he's much younger than her, but his maturity outshines the age gap. They laugh about his obvious flirting and what she coins as the Wiley eye. Precious asks for a date with Demetrius, and he's up for it, while Dakia and Wiley leave hand in hand. Cliff and Joy chat, and he still doesn't have a connection with anyone else but her. The brunch is over, but Cliff wants more one-on-one time and demands a hug. Joy insists that they have to leave because the venue is closing, but loves how he wants more time. Still, he stays and says he won't leave until he gets a hug. Laverne arrives first at the blind date location early, just to see if he needs to leave or run away. Carmen has arrived, and she is a boss. She brand markets for professional athletes, although her hectic schedule gets in the way for her personal life. She doesn't flirt well, but she's ready to love. Laverne greets with a hug, and so far so good. Laverne says to production that the first impression was great, and he loves her body. He compliments her face to face and saying that she has a great body. She thanks him and says that she works out 5 days a week. His response that he works out 6 days a week. She wants to know, is it a competition? He says no, but brings up his professional bodybuilding past and says that he can't help it. He's very competitive. He even brags about his butt and thighs, and Carmen calls out his bluff and says, well, let me get a nice squeeze. They continue to converse and get straight to some questions. Carmen has experience in the Air Force, and so does Laverne. Laverne has 2 children, both girls, and Carmen has 1 son. He can sense that her alpha energy is very strong, and she says straight up, yes, I'm an alpha woman. He wonders that since she's an alpha man, how would she react if they were out in public and she needed to check him? What would she do? She says that I would lean over and whisper in your ear, hey, baby, you tripping. Chill out, okay? He loves her strong personality because he too has one. They both look forward to more dates, and Laverne gives her a kiss on the cheek. Ace heads to her blind date and is super excited. Cornelius is a real estate agent who's made a nice coin. He says that many people say they've made $1 million or they're millionaires, but their lifestyle says something completely different. He's been close to marriage, but it didn't work out. He takes full responsibility in why it didn't work and owns up to it and has learned from it. After therapy, he's ready for love and children. They call him cornbread, and he's ready to make some corn muffins. They greet, and his height dominates Ace, and she loves it. She says to production, I looked up at Cornelius and he seems very happy and handsome. She tells him that his eyes are very charming and it makes him blush, as it's the first time he's heard any compliments about his eyes. He wants a long-term connection. He's been to therapy and feel every Black person should go get therapy. It's post-traumatic stress from being Black. He's very big on mental health, and it's a part of overall health. Ace shares that her love for meditation changed her life. He's very affectionate and loves PDA. Touch is very important, and he can understand how some people don't place sex and intimacy as important things in a relationship. Before the date comes to a close, he gets Ace's number and insists that they must meet again. He loved the date and feels that Tommy did a good job. Mr. Paul, aka P.O., meets up with Joy, and he's excited for some one-on-one time, uninterrupted. He starts off the date by ordering beforehand a beverage that she mentioned she liked in the mixer, vodka with soda and a splash of lime. She high-fives his attention to the detail. Paul says that he recognizes that she's a singer and on the road a lot. So how does that correlate with settling down? Joy does mention that just thinking about not being on the road makes her cringe. Paul says he wants to be married and he wants his wife to be with him and not away all the time. Joy says to production that Paul is a good guy, but my connection is still with Cliff. Dakia and Clifton meet up, and they both can't wait to get to know each other a little bit more. They both liked each other and didn't get to spend much time during the mixer. Cliff says to production that he likes Joy but knows that he needs to branch out. The flirting between the two starts early as the hugs are very endearing and long. Cliff wants to know, how do you feel about premarital sex? And Dakia says, yes, please. I'm at my sexual peak in life. It was already high before, now it's even higher. His body language tells all that it's very intriguing to him. It's obvious he feels the same way. The date comes to a close later, and Cliff wants to spend more time with Dakia alone, and he stresses the word alone and says with no one else around. He's liking her vibes, and getting to know other people is something that he needs to do. He even gives her a hug that's even more endearing and so tight that when he hugs her, he picks her up. It's a double date. Paul, Cornelius, Sabrina, and Tiffani. Sabrina and Cornelius greet one another, and she loves his energy. Tiffani suggests that the girls go against the guys, and then Precious pops up. They begin some ping pong, and the ladies are having some trouble. Cornelius suggests that allowing the ladies to serve, because Paul is really slamming the ball down. Cornelius jokes with production that Paul is trying to be Pete Sampras. The goal is to have fun. Precious makes it known that she's had her eyes on Paul for a while, although sometimes he can come off as a bit guarded. He says he feels that he's just being very tactful, giving a little sugar before the salt. When Paul and Precious broke away, Tiffani got straight with Cornelius when it came to the drilling. There was a lot of back and forth, so he suggests it might be better one-on-one. Tiffani starts with the drilling and asks a few questions that seemed a bit forceful. She asks him about marriage and he's honest. He says that whatever the relationship is needed from both people, that's fine with him. He's okay with not being married or not. Her facial expressions let him know that she's very uncomfortable and dissatisfied with his answers. Cornelius says to production that her energy just bled negativity. Sabrina pops over and says that she wants a rematch with Cornelius, and Tiffani makes a statement of "help yourself, girl." Tiffani says to production that I will not go on another date with him. I'm past that stage in my life of doing whatever. Tiffani joins Paul and Precious, and her negative energy goes with her. Paul politely asks her, "Hey, are you into spoken word? And if so, if you had your own show, what would it be called?" She's not into spoken word and thinks the question is lame. She proceeds to even joke about it. He explains that he was just asking questions to create some sort of dialogue. Now it's Cliff, Tori, Joy, Ace, and Carmen at the indoor driving range. Cliff needs to meet Carmen and he loves her style, her shape, everything, but then notices the blue contacts. It throws him off. He even makes a joke to production that he thought at one time he was looking at baby Jesus. Tori meets Carmen, but she says to production that she's not into dreads. It's obvious everyone doesn't play golf regularly because no one is having any luck understanding or hitting the ball. Although Carmen says that she plays golf all the time and wants to help out Cliff, but then comes to the realization that she needs to behave as if she has no idea how to play. She doesn't want to stroke the men's ego too much. She says that it was all a part of her plan to get Cliff to hold her hair so he could feel that it was all hers. Tori acknowledges Joy's amazing body while Cliff feels in Carmen that he got divorced about 2 years ago. He took the time off afterwards to learn more about himself. After a while, Ace notices everyone has parted off, and she decides to go to the bar. Tori questions the importance of sex to Joy, and she's very indulged that sex is important. Tori wants to know how deep is she willing to take it all in, like kidney deep? She says she wants her kidneys, but enjoys great sex. Cliff goes to check on Ace and wants to know if everything is okay. She makes it known that, yeah, everything's cool. I just wanted everyone to enjoy their time with one another. She didn't want to impose. He lets her know that you can never impose. And thank you for being considerate, but you can come back over. Tori keeps trying to connect with Joy, but there's no connection. Cliff updates Joy that the curveball, Carmen, didn't make any impact, and he's still connecting with only her. He loves that Joy wasn't insecure when he tried to meet other ladies. It's the first gentleman's lounge, and the energy just says that everyone is ready to share some information. Everyone meets the new guy, Cornelius, and Laverne says that he's a nice dude, but he's no competition for him, of course. Cornelius introduces himself as Cousin Cornbread, and everyone loves it. Tommy wants everyone to relax and get ready to keep things 100. He starts with Cornelius. "You went on a date with Ace, right?" He says, yeah. He says that they really had a good connection and a wonderful date. He loves her relationship with meditation, yoga, and taking care of mental health. Laverne interrupts and says, "Yeah, Tommy, she's peace." It appears that Wiley is a bit annoyed with Laverne interrupting, but stays quiet. He continues to tell about his date with Carmen. He followed Tommy's directions and made sure to let the other person speak. He loved Carmen as she did a little touching on his thighs and butt, and she could be the one. The fellas laugh and Tommy says, "Hey man, slow down. I want everyone to pay attention to all of the details in dating all of the women. Slow down and just pay attention. It's time to move on to what's important. Who are they feeling the most?" Tori says Sabrina and Joy. Clifton is feeling Dakia. He has the same views about premarital sex. They want a test drive before they get married. Paul mentions Takia and says that she has a boss swag, and he can tell that after 9 p.m., she likes to be thugged out. Tommy is so shocked by his comment. He says, I'll get back around and talk about that later. Okay. The fellas are very confused why he said such a thing. Wow. Wiley says that he's digging Takia and Tiffani. Now they have to get to who they're not feeling. Laverne says Sabrina. Paul says Tiffani. When he asked her a lot of questions, it didn't seem genuine. It's very clear that she doesn't want to unpack those details with him. Cliff says Tiffani. There's no connection. Cornelius says Tiffani as well. She wants a husband. She said that. The end. She put the paddle and the ball down and made it very evident what she wanted. Tori says Carmen. They just don't have a vibe. Demetrius says Takia. Wiley says Ace. She couldn't get past yoga in conversation. Paul agrees that Ace is good energy, but that's all. Laverne chimes in again and says no. Ace is love. She's Oprah, Michelle, Beyonce, Jill Scott, all of that. Tommy is shocked again and even pushes him to the back of his seat. The fellas laugh that they didn't get any of those vibes from her. Tommy has to call a timeout because Tommy says he can only take Paul and Laverne's comments in doses. It's time for the selected fellas to go on a date and tell specific women who aren't ready to love. Remember to stay courteous and chill when delivering the information. Ace meets up with Wiley. She's excited about their date because every time they get a moment to sit down and chat, their time is cut short. Maybe this time will spark something. They greet one another with open arms and even have a little bit of small talk. Then Wiley decides to get straight to it. He stands up and meets her at her side of the table. He wants to be very sincere about what he says next. Him and the fellas have talked about how no one could really get to know her deeper, just like how it feels tonight. Do they really want to see more of her or let her go, we thought? They decided that she is ready to stay. He wants her to not hold back and let people get to know her more. Ace says to production that she's happy that she's staying and she's been convinced to be more vulnerable and allow more depth. She can't describe how she is. She's unique. You have to experience her. Tiffani gears up for a date with Paul and decides to start over fresh with him. Hopefully this time he won't ask her so many questions. She mentions that on their last get-together, he asked a lot of questions instead of just letting things flow. With all of that being said, he goes directly into another question. What is something that I don't know about you that's shocking? It reads all over Tiffani's face that once again, she's not connected with his conversation. She tells him it's like a business meeting. Just have a conversation, Paul. Like, how is your day? Where do you like to travel? Do you have a passport? Paul explains that they're in a different process and it's essential that questions are asked directly. They're necessary. Tiffani is so frustrated at this point with Paul, she's beginning to sweat. He stops wasting time and gently tells her that the men agree that she's not ready to love. She's confused and even asked, who's not ready to love? Not me. Did I just get sent the F home? He wants to give her a hug, but she doesn't want one. Instead, she grabs her things and quickly leaves. She makes a final note to production that I'm not bothered. Do I look bothered? Am I upset? I'm not upset. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So Tiffani literally had a Tiffani Pollard moment. You remember that when she got eliminated by Flavor Flav? You know, AKA New York Tiffani, when she was eliminated and she says, I don't give a F. Doesn't like I give a F because I don't. And then she goes into the limo and just cries her eyes out. You know that Tiffani from Ready to Love, you know she cried in the car. She cried in the car because she was totally just thrown off by her being eliminated. And not eliminated by just anyone, but by Paul, AKA P.O. He definitely did deliver in that situation. He delivered the bad news that she didn't want. And, you know, I get what Tiffani was saying. He was just asking questions and that could come off as being on an interview. It's like you sitting here, instead of just talking to me and having some fluidity, you're asking asking like, you got all your questions in a row. What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? What's your favorite color? It's like, yeah, that's annoying. Had it been from another guy, I don't think she would have been as annoyed. It's the person who did the asking, okay? And he even mentioned in the gentleman's lounge that, wow, I'm asking her all of these questions and she's not responding. It's evident that she doesn't want to unload the answers with me. He said that. But it wasn't just him that felt that she didn't have good connections with anybody else. There were other fellas that felt that there wasn't really anything that was there to kind of build up on. And if there were other people that were digging her, it wasn't to the effect where they were just sitting there like, man, how can we decide who goes home? It made a lot of sense that they talked to Ace. Now look, Ace is cool, calm, and collected. She meditates, she's yoga, she's very deep, has a wonderful spirit, but you have to be able to dig deeper. If all you can talk about is yoga and meditation, that's great. That's wonderful. Even Cornelius was like, hey, that's great that she's connected with that. And we connected on mental health and how that's a part of your overall health. I get it. But if that's all that you can talk about, it's kind of like, what else do we have to talk about if that's all you can lead with? So I get it. I have a feeling Ace, if she does open that door, it's going to be what people don't want. That's probably why she's being really guarded about people getting to know her deeper, because maybe people don't really like that inward Ace, and I have a feeling that that's going to happen. When they get to know the other side, I don't know. People who are usually very peaceful and to themselves, when you start to dig away the layers, they're like, hey, I covered that up for a reason. Like, it saved my life for a reason. If Ace is so sincere and genuine, you have to understand or kind of question or think, what did that meditation deliver her from? Was she crazy? We don't know. So I look forward to the rest of the season and, peeling back those layers and seeing what's in the core of everything. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Cornelius, you know what? I'm gonna save him. I'm gonna save him because he seems that's a good man, Savannah. He seems like a really chill guy, but once again, another person that knows how to kind of like talk about other stuff a little later. Seems like a really good dude. One of the interesting things that he said was, a lot of people, when he mentioned what he did, which was real estate, he was like, a lot of people, talk about a millionaire and having a millionaire and having money, but their lifestyle says something different. That kind of made my bunny ears go up because it's just like, okay, why'd you say that? I mean, of course, production, they asked separate questions on the side and there's no telling what they were talking about before. But the fact that he brought that up, that was kind of odd to me. It's just like, do you feel some type of way about money? Is that something else that I don't know. It just seemed kind of like, okay, what he mean by that? Is that your way of telling us that you got to, you got a little something to the side? You got a lot of money or something? Like, what did that mean? That was just kind of like just thrown in there. That's just like I'm having a conversation with somebody, right? And I say, well, a lot of people claim to have houses, but on the inside it's empty. It's like, okay, what? I don't know. A question: what if the additions to the cast had true connections with the people that were previously eliminated? This fluidity of the season is cool that they're trying something new, but why not introduce them all at the same time? And like I've been saying over and over again, and have them around each other all the time. Because say, for instance, the person that came that was new had a connection with Fernando or had a connection with Keena, right? We don't know that because you're letting go of people that really didn't have a connection. And then those people that are coming in, they're coming in later and later and later. I'm sure that you're going to add more and more people as we go, but then they have less time to get to know everybody. So the timing of that and the idea is cool, but it really doesn't work because you're only allotted a certain amount of time for everybody to get to know each other. Have any of you thought about that? Like, okay, you're adding new people in, but what if their true connections left, right? Or they were eliminated, or what if they don't have enough time to really sit down? Now I have to sit here and ask you 20 questions because I only got 2 weeks left of filming. Like, who does that? Okay, so Wiley and the go-go music history. I mean, hey, I'm from Texas. I have an idea about go-go music, but I don't know that. But you do look like your daddy, though. When I saw that picture that they posted of your daddy, I was like, ooh-wee, you look like your daddy. Look, I'm glad he doesn't lead with that in conversation. Like, oh, my daddy is such and such. Because if he would have brought that to a female like me, I'm like, first of all, I'm from Texas and I have no clue who that is. Do you know DJ Jazzy Jeff? Okay, that's great. Anyway, because we had in previous seasons where people, I don't know if you remember the guy, he said in one season, I think it was Houston, he was like, I went on tour with Genuine and Tank and all of that. And the ladies was like, okay, do you say tomato or tomato? Like, clearly it's not, having you in some VIP status because we're all on this show together. So, it's good that he doesn't lead with that. I also noticed something that a lot of the women are starting to say about Wiley. He's younger, but, his maturity is blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's be real. When we're talking about these age differences with the cast, as I've said before, the age range has to differ because we have men on there that want to have kids, but you're giving them the option of 40 women that are 40 plus. Not saying that it's impossible to have a baby that late, but we're talking about getting to know you, getting deeper, then feeling that you're, together in a sort of relationship where you can have children. So it's good that they're showing that range, but I'm just like, I don't know. It seems like something is missing. I can't put my finger on it. But how many of the men are his age? Are the rest of the men older than him? I think so. And, they keep saying, oh, well, you know what? I think he is the youngest one there. But it's just kind of like, what are y'all trying to do? It's good that they're adding in more of a cast. And let's talk about Carmen. Okay, so I'm really digging Carmen. Even though Cliff said thought he was looking at baby Jesus with the blue eyes. First of all, homie, we already know the deal with that. Jesus didn't have them blue eyes, but we ain't gonna go into that conversation. But anyway, I get what he's saying about the context. Carmen, girl, get the gray context. If you want to rock a different color, get gray or get the hazel or get the dark green. Not the crystal light blue. Not that color. Don't get that color. That was just like I didn't see a problem with the context. Cliff thought it was a little, it threw him off or whatever. It was distracting. I feel you. But Carmen seems like she's really chill. She's a boss. She's admitting that she's super busy. She didn't really have time to flirt and, have a personal life because she's so busy. Just look at what she does. She does the product marketing and marketing for professional basketball players. So no, you don't have time. I can get that. But she seems like she's pretty cool. Now, we also got to think about this as an alpha woman who's also been in the mix with other women who are clearly alpha women. So hopefully there's not a lot of static or some fighting going on with a lot of alpha women because they can bump heads a lot. There's only so many alphas you can put in one room. Oh my gosh, Laverne, can we talk about you? I really don't want to, but can we talk? Now let me point out something to y'all. Anytime you got a grown man whose belt buckle looks like this, it never stays where it's supposed to stay in the loops, and it's constantly up. I can guarantee you that this guy is full of trash. He is an F-boy. Run if you see this belt. Now, I can understand you sit down, you know what I'm saying, and it comes up or whatever. But this belt loop and pants situation looks like that happens all the time with your pants. Okay? That tells me that you have plenty of room in them pants. And you're used to pulling up your pants without look, it tells just like you can tell a lot. If a woman has nails, nice pretty nails, but underneath her nails, they dirty, or you look at somebody and they shoes are a mess, or they have bad hygiene, it's another thing with a man in this belt and his pants like that. It's always a clue. That's enough. That's all I need to see. When he did that, I was like, that's enough. It's another thing to be competitive as well. It's nothing wrong with being competitive. We all got a little, competitiveness in all of us. But when you bring it up all the time that you're a professional bodybuilder, Laverne, nobody cares. Nobody cares, okay? That you're a professional bodybuilder. You work out 6 days a week. That's great. You're super annoying, and I hope you're eliminated very quickly. Hope you're eliminated from a lot of stuff. Okay, so Tiffani, what's going on? Let me get back to you. Is it just me, or was I the only one that noticed that she looked like Coco from SWV? Come on now. Even when she gave that look like, am I going home? She looked just like Coco. Are they cousins? Is it something that I missed? Are they related? I want to know. I was looking, I'm like, who does she look like? Tiffani, you came in with a lot of rah-rah, sis. You came in with a lot of rah-rah. I don't know what I don't know what was on your mind. You came in just looking like I want to just meet some people, but I don't know what it was. It was your energy. It's the way you carried yourself. And the more you got to talking, I was like, I don't know. But all I know is I don't know what it is that you done to me. But girl, who, I usually don't talk about people. I usually just talk about the show and how people behave. But you really did come in with a chip on your shoulder. And it got knocked off and was on the ground. Somebody stepped on it. And it wasn't even a Pringles. It was just some corner store chip. They stepped on it and you went home. Okay, Paul, I told y'all that he was nasty. I told y'all that. When he kept calling himself P.O. and he can deliver and he can do this and he can do that. And I'm like, this man clearly is cocky for a reason. When you just super cocky like that and you talking about how you deliver and all this other stuff, I said, yeah, he got a little something. He got a little something, and he's acting this way because he know he can back it up. You ever come in contact with somebody and you're like, they sure are just like super duper boastful. They have all of this confidence, and you think, well, why? Like, what else is going on? He came in with asking people questions, leaning back in his seat, talking to people like he was Denzel. Hell, he was talking to people like he was John David Washington, asking all these questions like, well, what do you like to do? When he said that Carmen looked like a boss, but at the 9 p.m. she looked like she liked to be thugged out or whatever he said, I said, yep, I knew it. This man is already conjuring in his head what he want to do to all of them. You got to watch out for dudes like that. He looked like he could really have a good time with some people, but ready to love, I don't know. Maybe he's tired of literally breaking down walls and bringing down walls and really getting to people's kidneys, as Tori said. But he, watch out for him, ladies. I don't know about this one. I told y'all he was nasty. In the first review, I told y'all. I'm just so glad to be right. I like the new addition, Cornelius. I like him, but like I said before, it's something that's giving me, I don't know. He seemed like he coming in like a nice teddy bear. Like he all cool and stuff. He probably on that Paul P.O. juice, to be real with you. They probably drink the same juice and they know what's up. He just came in like, mental health school, yeah. Okay then. I don't know. Cornelius had them nice suits and everything, talking about money, and then came to the date. He was waddling, wasn't he? He was waddling to that table. He was like, let me sit down at the table. It was hot. He looked like he a cool dude, though. I don't know. I have to see a few more episodes, but I got my bunny ears on that one. Does it look like a cat? Because I don't. Tiffani, yes, you do. You cared, girl.
Can we get kinky tonight? Got so many things on my mind.
Sing it, Tiffani, girl. Y'all sing. Y'all listening to this. Y'all know what's up.
Yeah.
Look, let me know what y'all think. Leave your comments below. Remember to respect one another in the comments. Everyone can agree to disagree. Look. Please let me know your comments. I can't wait to respond and read them. Like this video, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and stay tuned for so much more. We even have the episodes finalized in the season 1 for Queens. If you haven't checked that out, make sure that you click on that playlist and binge watch. I also have other shows and other videos that I recommend in the pinned comment. Until next time, you guys, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Bye. Bye, Paul. Oh, nasty self.